Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nikki Vo, and I'm your host. I'm a boat owner, a Marina's owner, an international conference presenter, and a huge advocate for boating. I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. We are here in Dubai, and I am talking to Zandra Sissing, CMM Senior Manager Marina of Red Sea Global. Welcome, Zandra.
Thank you, Nikki. It's a pleasure to be here.
You have had a really interesting career, so this is going to be a great conversation. But let's go right back to the very beginning, your education, where you were born, all those wonderful things.
So I was born in Namibia to a conservation family. So my background growing up was heavily into nature conservation, sustainable tourism, things that are where you want to watch your footprint long before it became the fashionable buzzwords that it is today. My education was in Cape Town, but despite that, I never went sailing, never saw a boat before I left school.
Wow. Okay. So when did the boating begin?
So after school, needed to get a job, got myself a job for a company that was doing Helly Hansen.
Okay, love Helly Hansen.
Which was, my introduction to sailing. And at that time, it was called the Whitbread. And the Whitbread race came to South Africa, came to Cape Town, and I had to do a delivery to Caverna. And Caverna was the first race boat that I ever stepped on.
Wow.
And that was it.
Goodness gracious. So you just literally worked for Helly Hansen and ended up on a boat.
And I didn't get, I got to go as a tourist on Caverna for one of their public days, but that was where the passion hit. That was it. Boating was where I wanted to carry on. And I started crewing and cleaning and just slowly working my way through the industry, various detours into sea kayak guiding, whitewater, anything to do with water and form of canoe or boat, I was there.
And that was in South Africa at the time?
In South Africa, I did sailing overseas for a little bit, but more, I think it was 6 months, and then come back, started working, looked at maintenance of boats, and just slowly grew my career, learned to the warranties of Ferretti Group. So I was working for Ferretti agent for a while and just continuously studying, continuously trying to grow, learn, do things in the industry. Spent a lot of time cleaning with earbuds inside yachts. It's been an amazing way to learn from the bottom up.
Yeah, because it's quite important in the boating industry to learn from the bottom up sometimes because it's a lot to learn.
It's not just the learning, it's the understanding of the challenge. If you don't understand what your team is doing or the requirements that they have, it's hard to lead them effectively. And I have a passion for training, which is where I'm getting to in my career now. And to do that, you need to understand. If you're coming in from outside, you may not understand that it could take an hour to do what seems like a simple job. But to do it to industry standard, it's our industry is unique and our challenges are unique.
That's so true. And so you're in South Africa. You're doing all those different wonderful things and learning so much about the industry. Where do you go from there?
So I was managing yachts and I met a wonderful man And this wonderful man wanted to move to Dubai. So I started looking at what was available in Dubai and got an offer for working on the marina management side. And so I moved to Dubai with this wonderful man and started in a canal marina, which was just built. And the next section of the business, again, from the bottom up.
And how was that transition for you? Was it very, very different to what you've been doing before?
I believe it actually helped because having been the crew, having managed the boats, I can see the client side from when I'm in the marina, I understand what the client wants. I've been on that side. So it is very easy for me to try and find that balance that is required between what's good for the marina and what the guest needs intuitively before they ask for it.
We're marina owners, as you know, so you really need to understand boating. You know, you need to be a boater and or have worked on boats to really understand what the client needs and deliver that for them. It's an interesting space, isn't it?
It is, but in the UAE, and now in Saudi, we're busy bringing out hospitality into marinas. And this is really exciting. Let's take it further. Let's know that if a boat is coming in late at night, they may want something very different to a boat that's coming in fresh in the morning. If we can apply the aspect of hospitality to marinas, this is the space where we really want to be.
Yeah, well, I think UAE, Red Sea, you know, it's a space of luxury and that level of service that is almost expected, isn't it?
It is expected, but we're now starting to do the unexpected. And that's where the most fun comes because we're redefining what we're doing. We're the fresh, clean slate at the moment, and we're developing the destination. And that's really fun. And it's leveling up even for myself. So I'm excited for the next year. Yeah. I'm really excited for the next year.
Yeah. So we're going to get to your Red Sea position and Red Sea Global later, but because it is super exciting. And it's like you're opening up a whole new world that nobody knew existed. But let's get back to your previous roles in you were ops manager, acting marine manager at Emirates Palace, Mandarin Oriental, right? So that's kind of a combination of the hospitality and the marina put together. Did you learn a lot doing that role?
Oh, tremendously. Emirates Palace and Mandarin Oriental are iconic brands. That was really where I started getting into blending the two. Really enjoyed my time there. It's a very busy marina. You're always on the go. There's always events. And as you said, that super high luxury level of service is expected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's essentially the shore side of super yachting. And I always caution my friends that are still on the boats when they say they're going to come shoreside. And I say, it doesn't mean shorter days or easier days. Season will still be the same.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, Mandarin Oriental is an incredible brand, hospitality-wise, isn't it? I think I'm ex-hotel as well. So I think hospitality is a great learning for our space. And I think it brings, like you said, that different element to the marina space as well. I think it's great to have that combination to have learned from. So from there you went to Sandy Lane. I mean, that's a tough place to be, right? Tell everyone where that is.
Oh, Canuan. Canuan is a southern island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Sandy Lane is the only super yacht marina in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a beautiful space, up to 100-meter yachts, full power as you would get in the Mediterranean, and a great stopover for any crew that is wanting to just get off after a long Caribbean season. I was very lucky to go work there. It's privately owned by somebody who is very much in the 5-star hotel space. So again, we were maintaining really high service standards, and that was a lot of fun beautiful waters, snorkeling with turtles. We had turtles staying in the marina.
Oh, amazing.
At the bottom of the marina, we had this feeding ground. So we eventually had our resident turtles named.
Lovely.
So the privilege of the wonderful man was to actually name one of them. So Artemis and Artemises are well known amongst the cruising groups. And I couldn't tell you if they were both male or both female, but they're Artemis and Artemises to most of the children that came through on the yachts.
Oh, beautiful. So you both moved there for a while for you to do that role?
Yeah, he's just the best support. However, he's incredibly successful in his own right. So the minute we were going there, he was snapped up in his role. And that meant that we were not necessarily on the same island, but we have made it possible to both shine in our careers while moving around the world.
Oh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. What a great partnership.
It takes work, but the right one's always worth it. And you need that balance between work and life. So you have to remember what's important.
Yeah. Oh, so good. All right. So you've been there for a while. You're enjoying that. And all of a sudden it appears Red Sea plucks you out of that paradise and says, come and join our paradise. Tell me about how that happened.
I had my eye on Red Sea for a while, but I actually had a few options on the table. I'm pleased to say that I chose Red Sea because they resonate with me. Red Sea has a concept of regenerative environmental tourism. They're not trying to just build while not damaging things. They're actively rebuilding. So even now, they're actually redoing the coral reefs. And that resonated with me because of my childhood. I wanted to join a company, a brand that was aligned with my own values. So when the opportunity came, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Just had to go.
Yeah. Because they've got is it the fourth largest reef in the world?
I think it's the second or third, but
right.
I'll have to I'll have to do that fact check for you.
Yeah.
There are so many islands that are earmarked not to be developed to sustain, and you have to come see it. There's these absolutely perfect blue waters. I'll be honest, having worked in the Caribbean and now here in Red Sea, it is it's better than the Caribbean. The waters I've got video where the blue of the sky and the blue of the water merge because it is so flat and windless. And when you're flying along in the tender, you feel like you're flying visually. You're just on this glass blue and the colors of the reef pop out below you. And it's indescribably beautiful.
Wow, it sounds absolutely amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the place you want to come dive, you want to see. And yes, you can't just do what you like, but that's because there is a strong focus on keeping everything for the next generation. And I like that.
Yeah. So Saudi is really in this process of Red Sea opening itself up and changing its economy in a way, isn't it? It's working towards a more tourism-focused economy. Are there some things culturally they're changing as well to allow visitors to be very comfortable in their environment? I guess culturally as a Westerner, not really understanding the culture, we need to be educated as to what is appropriate, what's not appropriate, all those sorts of things.
So I always say I'm going to focus on my boats rather than on things for Saudi tourism to handle.
Yeah.
But from my personal experience, the Saudis are the most warm culture. I have so many times sat with Saudi males over breakfast. They cannot speak English. I cannot speak Arabic. And we sat down and we've pointed at things and they've welcomed me and they want to learn and they want to grow. It is a wonderfully hospitable country. I am so happy there.
Yeah.
And perhaps I would have to say to people, come and enjoy. Perhaps it's not the way it's done in the Med, but that's part of the beauty.
Yeah.
Come and see something different.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the Caribbean and Caribbean is amazing. It's green, it's lush, it's fantastic. But having seen now this side, it's a new world. Really, it is.
Yeah.
But Saudi is very, very hospitable. You just have to come and experience it.
Yeah. It feels very respectful to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very respectful. And really all we have to do as visitors is be respectful back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a new release of product or a new boat that you'd like us to review at a boat show? Get in touch at info@theboatprincess.com and our team will be very happy to chat with you about that. Those beautiful waterways that have been almost hidden until now. It must be so exciting to see all those different areas, and I think it's 90 islands or something to be explored and all those wonderful things. It sounds so exciting to get to see.
It is, and we're developing the product. Now some of those islands are going to remain not for visiting, and those are environmentally sensitive ones. So we have sooty falcons, we have ospreys, we have turtle nesting sites. And that's again why I'm there, because they're making a point of not overdeveloping. If you look at Amala, which is a wellness destination, they're going to limit themselves to no more than 500,000 tourists a year. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So there is a limit.
Yeah.
Completely off-grid. It's solar powered by completion of project. There is going to be a balance between tourism and the environment. And that's, again, I can only use the word exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all just exciting.
So opening it up to the world, but at the same time being really careful to maintain it so that it's never spoiled.
And that's why they've focused on regenerative. So I was saying to you earlier, even now we haven't opened, but there's already coral reef work going to grow them and improve them, to mitigate any damages before it's damaged, and to ensure that what they're leaving behind something better than what they've started with.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find another place in the world that's doing that.
Yeah, amazing. So the marina itself that you're involved in developing, tell me about that specifically, that facility.
So we're currently developing two. One is at Shura Island, and that will be a super yacht marina up to 100 meters. And then we have Amala Triple Bay coming online as well, which is 200 kilometers north of Shura. So there will be 2 points. Everything you would have. Shura is more of a quayside pontoon berthing. Amala is Mediterranean berthing, but with all the facilities.
Amazing.
Everything you would expect in the Med, in the Med or any other, or Dubai, but in Saudi.
Oh, just beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's the most exciting part of the project for you?
Oh, training.
Okay.
Besides seeing something come to life and seeing more than, often we come into Marina and we all say, but why? Why is it like this? This doesn't suit me. I'm seeing the other side. I'm seeing the side from the project development. I've seen it from design. My learning curve, my training and my growth in the last 7 months has been a phenomenal curve. I've had to really understand parts of the industry I didn't even get involved in before. But at the same time, we're now looking at how do we impart this knowledge to the new generation of Saudi colleagues and to everybody else. And that's really exciting for me, starting to develop training plans, starting to see how we can pass this on.
And will the people that work at the marina, will they come from Saudi or from outside Saudi or?
Well, we all know that we have Vision 2030, so we will look at that as we go. That is very much all in development. So,
okay. And how about you as a person? You've moved around the world quite a bit. You have obviously lived in some incredible, amazing places in the world. How do you think that has affected you personally?
I've had to learn that my way is not always right. Cultural adaptation. When we come to a place, we always have an opinion, and it doesn't always work that way. You actually have to adapt yourself. I now have a bit more of a personal motto, which is what else is possible? So if we've always done something one way, when you get to a new country, you have to adapt. You can't always do it exactly that same way. And I hesitate to use the word flexible, but it has made me stop and think about different ways to do things. And I like that. I like that personal growth that each culture has given me.
Yes, it's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah. You're wearing a beautiful coat, which is part of what you have at Red Sea now. Tell me about that.
It's not a coat. It's an abaya. And I mean,
we all need to be educated, you see. You're educating us.
And abayas are not, they're a personal choice to wear. But I find them to be beautiful, feminine, practical, and very, very comfortable. And in fact, when you work in warm countries, the softer, looser clothing is more comfortable. So I love my abayas. I wear them whenever I can, but they are certainly a personal choice and not compulsory. And I would not want anybody to think that if you come to Saudi, this is what you have to do. But I enjoy them.
I think it's beautiful.
If you come to Riyadh or Jeddah, you will see so many various fashions. And again, when you look at it and you start to see the colors and the patterns, it's a beautiful fashion that isn't really understood in the rest of the world.
Yeah, yeah. I think I really would love to understand that more. I think lots of people would love to understand that more.
They have to come visit.
Yeah.
You have to come. You have to come to the Gulf to experience the hospitality of the Gulf. I knew from working in the UAE that Saudi would be a wonderful place because the experience I've had in the Gulf has just been positive. So for me, it's just easier to say, come. You know, the myth of everything is just that, really.
Yeah, a myth. Yeah, because we don't understand it. We need to see it for ourselves and enjoy the incredible environment that you're enjoying right now.
How many people can literally going down a waterway channel, look 20 meters to the side and see beautiful oranges and greens and amazing coral colors just outside the navigation channel? It's such a beautiful cruising ground. At the moment, I'm feeling very privileged.
So when will this facility be open and when can we expect a visit?
We are expecting Amala, Triple Bay and Shura to be ready for guests the end of the year.
Wow, that's soon.
I would always say keep updated via our official channels because obviously things happen and sometimes we're a little quicker off the mark. But yes, end of 2025, we will be welcoming our first guests.
Amazing. And I guess what are you looking forward to for that? Because I know one of the things you really love about what you do is making people happy and giving them that level of service that really makes a difference to them. So what are you looking forward to?
Surprising people. I know everybody's going to come with an expectation, but let's surprise them. Let's show them. Let's let them come and enjoy. You know, mostly people get involved in this industry. The boat's already built. You know, the Marina's already built. So being able to work, to be there on welcoming the first guests, that's what I'm looking forward to. And then, as has been announced, the Global Ocean Race is coming to Amala in 2027. And the Ocean Race used to be the Whitbread. So for me, it's full circle.
Oh, wow, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what's coming because I'm going to one day stand and watch those boats come into Amala and it will be full circle.
Oh, that's amazing. So, so good. Now, as you know, on the Boat Princess podcast, we shine a light on the women in the industry. And I know for you, you've had a mentor in your career that was a guy, a harbour master, correct? Yeah?
Yes.
Can you tell me how much difference that person made to your career for you?
Oh, that is a big question.
We like the big questions on this podcast.
I'm processing that question. There's a few people in your life that will do you the privilege of telling you like it is and looking at you and seeing your potential and knowing when you need to move and knowing when you need to study and being able to bounce off that person. And I can honestly say I would not be sitting here today if I didn't have that mentor. I'd not be talking to you. I would be maybe 6 or 7 steps back in my career. And yeah, I'm very privileged to have had that guidance, especially when at that time, there weren't in South Africa that many women doing what I was doing, and just being told, look, you need to study, you need to do this, think about that. And that's why now I have a focus on training as well, is because you want to pass that on. It's nice to see other people succeed. I enjoy seeing people that I'm working with, succeed. A marina is never one thing. It's not one person. It's the entire team. So the more the team succeeds, the more the marina succeeds.
Absolutely. And it's lovely that you're now giving back in that space and growing people in your team as well. Is there any particular people you've worked with in the past that you've been able to do that for as well and you've seen them grow?
There are. I would not mention their names.
Of course.
But we have an amazing Saudi colleague who is now growing into the marina space. And I've had the privilege of seeing him develop. And I think that he is going to be amazing. And so, yes, I've seen that. I've seen it in the Caribbean. I prefer to try and leave that mark now. So as many people as we can grow, that's the footprint you should leave behind.
Yeah. Are there any particular people that you have looked to, apart from the harbour master that was your mentor? Mm-hmm. How long was that for? Was that for
over 10 years?
Okay.
Over 10 years.
Okay.
So yes, I'm sure she won't mind. One of my heroes is Zara.
Okay.
You know Zara from Grenada?
I don't know Zara from Grenada, but I need to know Zara from Grenada, obviously.
You need to know Zara from Grenada.
Yeah.
So Zara, she works for Campers and Nichols, but Marinas, CNN Marinas in Grenada, and she is a powerhouse. And for many years, even before I first met her, she would be supportive over LinkedIn or anything else. And so being able to connect with her was also a big thing for me. And at one point in the Caribbean, we had Zara and Zandra about, 2 islands away from each other and a lot of confused super yacht captains. So they would come into Sandy Lane and they would go, "Hi, Zara." And they would go down to Grenada and they'd say, "Hi, Zandra." And so, yes, I would definitely call out Zara. She is just, again, another wonderful giving person.
Yeah. And there are some beautiful, generous souls in the industry that do that, aren't they, that bring us up and help us and teach us so much.
Correct. Everybody needs somebody that they can just pick up the phone and go, "Hi, what do I do? Hi, I have a situation I haven't encountered before. Can you, what would you do?" Because we don't all know and we don't have all the answers. And it would be, I think, foolish if we tried to present we have all the answers, because we're all human.
Yeah. Hey guys, just taking a little break from Zandra's interview for a minute, just to have a chat with you about a few things that we're doing at the Boat Princess coming up, and I would like you to know about. So we are doing the European Boat Show Tour this year, which is very exciting. I shall be at Cannes, hopefully Genoa as well, and Southampton will be an absolute must. And then I will be heading across the US to IBEX, because my dear friend Anne is, of course, the director of IBEX, but also because it is a massive event for the boating industry, the equivalent in the US of Met's Trade in Europe. And I haven't been there before, so I'm excited to go there. I know they do a lot of education there as well, and It's going to be a very good event, I'm sure. So you guys know that social media is no longer shall we, shan't we, in the boating industry. It really is a necessity for your marketing and your presence of your brand to the world. So we can help you out with that, not like a social media agency would. That's not what we do, but we can deliver some content specifically by the Boat Princess about your brand or your product to actually give you a third-party verification. We will not support brands we don't believe in because that's part of our brand. We have to protect our integrity and our belief from our clients that they can trust us. So if you are interested in working with us and collaborating with us, get in touch at info@theboatprincess.com and we'll send you out our media kit so we can see if we can collaborate and work on something together, because that gives you content that you haven't got time to do and it's a little bit different. It gets you to our audience first, your audience second, and just gets you out there a little bit more in a different way. So get in touch. I mean, you must have had some incredible situations. You're dealing with extreme high net worth individuals, aren't you? Does that take a different approach? Does it take a different way of doing things? Does it just have an understanding of their needs are different? How do you think that is different? Because
I enjoy working with the captains because the captains know their clients.
Yes.
So I often say the captain is my client. And so I strive to work to understand what the captain and his engineer and his chef and his chiefs do want. Because if I can support them, they'll keep the boat owner, the principal, happy. So I consider, my work to be for the captain.
Mm. Are you seeing more female captains now?
There is. I've seen a lot of first officers. I haven't personally seen as many female captains, but I am seeing strong representation at first officer level. So I think that the shift is happening in a way where the women that are all coming through are going to be super strong, well experienced, and by no means a token captain.
Mm. It's great to see that there is definitely an emergence happening right across the board of the industry, and it's really wonderful to see.
It is, and it's good to see that it is now more common. It's not something that people are pointing out anymore, and that is, I think, the tipping point where it becomes normal.
Exactly right. Right. Yeah, when we stop talking about as if we're something different, which is brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think we're very close to that.
I would be grateful to see it. Because when it's not, as we say, when we're not saying how many captains have you seen, when it just is, then it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a very exciting time in your life. You've got this incredible development about to open and happen, and you're bringing a whole new space to the world. Your husband's there with you as well?
So my husband is in Saudi, but not on site.
Yeah.
But yes, he is in Saudi.
Okay, so you're still able to see each other, which is great. It's always nice to see your husband. So, but what excites you most about that whole exposure of that beautiful environment to the world?
Again, I will go back to the regenerative tourism. For me personally, this new methodology of really putting the environment first and still trying to do luxury, or not trying to do, still doing luxury tourism. I think that is something in a lot of areas everybody has tried to say that they're putting the environment first, but 10 years later, you look back and you go, well, they didn't really. And I'm excited because from what I've seen, this is going to happen there. The environment will be put first.
And do you think that will make Red Sea a leader in this space and educating others?
I think they already are.
Yeah.
I already think they are a leader.
Yeah.
And that was why I wanted to join them.
Yeah. And are they sharing that what they're doing with the world, or?
I am so focused on my captains and my boats in the Marina right now. I am not the best person to ask.
Fair enough.
I'm head down in getting ready to welcome.
Yeah, yeah. So how many boats can you actually welcome when you open those 2 marinas?
So for sure, it's 135 berths, and we will have 8 super yacht berths up to 100 meters, ranging from 40 to 100 meters. In Amala, it's 115, and there we have, again, up to 100 meters. So, and then ranging all the way down to the 10 meters for your tender. We have a calarium coming, so there will be diving, entire docks just for the diving boats and going to see. It's going to be amazing.
Wow, incredible.
We're putting mooring buoys into the lagoon in designated areas which are not going to be affected. And then boats larger than 100, 110 meters will be able to safely take up a mooring buoy.
Okay. So that's the way you're solving the whole anchoring thing.
Correct.
Not allowed to anchor, just mooring on designated moorings,
Yes.
which makes so much sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great initiative and something I think that needs to spread a little more in the world. Yeah.
Those points are being put to be in convenient locations to the various resorts. We're understanding that guests don't want to tender for too long. We are, however, ensuring that wherever the mooring buoys go down, it's not going to affect coral reef or anything to that effect.
Amazing. And you mentioned that you've got your own fleet as well. Tell me about that.
See, now we're getting into the fun part, more boats. Red Sea has, they've always known that to get out to the island resorts, you have to get there. So we have an entire division called Mobility, and we have a range of passenger vessels to get our guests to the islands. We have a partner company called Fly Red Sea, which is part of our mobility team. And we have looked as a company at all the ways that you have to get around. The vehicles are electric, so the guests are picked up from the airport. They're moved in electric luxury cars, Lucids, to their various locations. It's an amazing experience of luxury that has been interconnected into environmental. And you can see how much work has gone into this planning.
Mm. So what sort of boats can we expect in that?
Then we would have to bring in our other department.
Okay.
Because, again, I am fully focused on getting ready for all the boats
coming in.
I'm not trying to dodge around a question.
Yes,
it's just there is a full focus at the moment on getting ready and gearing up to make sure that we can welcome everybody.
Of course.
So not fully caught up on everything.
Yes.
But it's also because we have to tell you to wait and see.
Keeping it all a nice surprise. We love it.
There we go. I mean, you cannot tell everybody everything before. We want you to come and be wowed.
Yes, yeah. And I think it will be an incredible wow. Yeah.
You're going to have to come.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit of a privilege that you've got there, isn't it? That you're there already.
And, so we live on a site and it is so well organized. They've really taken the ethos of taking care of us. I mean, my biggest problem is I've got to make sure not to eat too much of the good food there.
Fair enough.
It really is. And I know it's easy to think like maybe you're trying to say to people, oh, it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. But it really is good.
Yeah.
It really is good. And that's a nice place to be.
Yeah.
To be in a space where you're going, well, no, there's not really anything to moan about.
Yeah. What is the cuisine like? What can we expect?
Oh, depends on the restaurant. Depends on the island. Top tier. Quality of food there is amazing, even for us staff. But, I mean, everything from Japanese through to Arabic cuisine. What would you like?
Okay, so it's very multicultural and very,
What would you like?
everything. I love everything.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're not going to be disappointed.
Actually, in Australia, we are very spoilt with our cuisine. We get absolutely every style of cuisine in Australia. And then when we travel, if we go to, I guess, Italy, for an example, right, and they only really have Italian food there, right? And we're sort of saying, this is lovely for a couple of weeks, but then I need some Asian influence or some, Korean or Japanese or even British or something. But we have so many different cuisines in Australia that when we travel, we love to have that variety of cuisine. So that'll be lovely to have that.
That won't be your challenge. We stayed, the hubby and I stayed on the St. Regis Resort Island, and we literally tried to do each like all 3 restaurants or everything that was open, just to try it. And again, it's a foodie's dream.
Yeah.
And my husband is a foodie, so I won't go where he can't have that kind of need satisfied.
Yes.
And geez, really, what an experience dining wise.
Amazing. Yeah. So we've had a really good chat about what you've done, what you've achieved, all those wonderful things. If there's somebody listening to this podcast that isn't in the boating industry and they're feeling a little bit like they don't really understand it, they don't really know what it is, because it does do that, the boating industry. It feels a little bit, from an outsider, it feels a little bit unique. We've got all these funny words that we use and all these really different things that we do in this industry. What would you say to somebody outside the industry now about, come on in, what would you tell them is the best way to get into it or enjoy it? Or
I would say you need to first know that you have that passion. It's not an industry for somebody who doesn't like the water. So you need to identify that is actually what you want to do, because I believe that this industry is driven by passion. The hours that we work, the commitment to the job, the levels of service from the boat, to the supply chain and logistics, to the marina, cannot be done if it's not a calling. So I would much rather say to somebody, don't come, but if you do come, there's more than one of us that would mentor them. But be prepared that you may need to start somewhere at the bottom. It's not an office job where you can just start in the top, because you will lack some basic understandings, but there is always somebody that's going to welcome you. But you'll need to make sure that this is what you want. This is not a 9 to 5. And I mean, you have to have the passion.
Yeah, it really is a lifestyle rather than just a job, isn't it?
Correct. It takes a lot of learning. If you don't want to continuously develop yourself and learn, you will not succeed. You will stagnate in this industry. We're here at the boat show. Why have I come? Because I know that there is going to be things that I haven't seen since I haven't been here for the last year. And we have to constantly update ourselves. We have to constantly see what's new, how can it be used? And again, that is what makes this exciting.
It is a continuously developing space, the boating industry, very much so at the moment, I think. It's adapting to a new boat style user. It's adapting to technology, environmental pieces, all that sort of thing. Is there any development you've seen in the boating industry recently that's really excited you?
I'm seeing people really working hard on, everybody's looking at electric, everybody's looking at hydrogen. But I'm starting to see that now that they're looking at, okay, can the boat do it? They've also got to consider what's shoreside. And so starting to see people that are paying attention to the other half of this green technology, that's exciting. Putting the chargers on the dock, how are you going to refill that green hydrogen? These are the other questions that the industry has to answer, because if we can build the boat, but we can't facilitate the boat, your industry won't thrive. So I have seen quite a bit that's starting to look at that. And that to me means that we are starting to walk in the right direction.
Well, I'm excited for Red Sea. I think everybody is excited for Red Sea. It's an amazing space that everybody will hopefully enjoy at 500,000 people at a time each year.
That for a marla,
Yeah.
different for Red Sea. So
Okay.
So the easy way to describe it is Red Sea
Yes.
is about 500 kilometers north of Jeddah.
Yeah.
And it is the Red Sea Lagoon. And then the Amala area is 700 kilometers, another 200 up. And it encompasses a slightly different style of waters. But between the two, that is the most amazing coastline. Definitely worth a visit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Zandra, for being with us today. Really appreciate your time. It's been lovely to meet you. And is there anything you just want to tell our podcast listeners before you go?
Just come. Just come and enjoy. You know, I could wax lyrical about the color of the water and everything else. No, just come.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Zandra. We'll see you on the water soon. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate your ears. If you'd like to connect with us, you can do so by following us on Instagram at The Boat Princess. That gives you some more insight visually as to what we've been up to and what we have coming up in the future. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Nikki Vo, The Boat Princess. And of course, a lovely way to connect with us and stay connected with us is to sponsor the podcast, sponsor our events, or just get involved with a collaboration with us in a way that we can both support each other to allow others to rise in the industry or be educated in the industry or just feel comfortable about being in the industry and being supported. So I really look forward to collaborating with any businesses out there that would like to associate their brand with ours. And of course, a simple sponsorship is to place ads on the podcast or sponsor our events, because of course we do some amazing events throughout the year and they will increase as time goes on and sponsorship increases. Networking within the industry is of course incredibly important, and especially for women, because one, we like to support them, and two, because every now and then having a female dominated event is a nice thing to have. So we really appreciate the sponsorship of those events. You guys, I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. I thank you so much for doing so. I would love it if you could review the podcast, and that will extend our reach. And until the next episode, I'll see you on the water soon.